Well, to know me is to love me, cause at times I can be misunderstood. Yeah. There'll be good days and bad days, like the preacher said it would. All I ask is you will try loving me. All I ask is you will try loving me. Cause loving me ain't easy.
What's going on, and welcome to Black King's Free Game. It's your boy King Conda, the People's Champ, in the building, and I'm not alone. With me, I have King Wiggle.
You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy DJ Wiggles. We live tonight.
And also our special guest, Sabrina Newby.
Hello, everybody.
And look, she brought a friend, and I'm not gonna mess her name up. If you would introduce yourself.
Please don't. Thank you. Mandisha A. Thomas.
Mandisha A. Thomas.
Mandisha A. Thomas.
Yes.
That's how I said it.
That is how you said it. That is how you said it.
Just like that. So, you guys, kings and queens, you know how we start the program off. First, we got to find out how King Wiggles' week has been.
Man, the week has been awesome. It went by quick, but that's how Attica still get me, man. We're like 3 weeks now from just being on the show.
Yes.
But probably going on 4 or 5 weeks, man. This Attica's get me. But tonight I feel a little better.
Okay.
Feel a little better, man. And so maybe my nerve knew that I was going to be here with my sister tonight. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. Yeah. So man, I've been good, man. Tomorrow I'll be in Jacksonville. I got a DJ at prom, man. First Coast High School. It's going down to the major way tomorrow night in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. He in Jville. Once again, DJ Wiggle. But anyways, to Mrs. Newby.
Yes, Sabrina, please.
Sabrina. Call me Sabrina. I got you.
I'm looking back like, you hear that, man? You hear that, man?
Look.
If you see me turn to the side, that means I'm looking at Mr. Newby.
Look. See how you put him on blast?
Or Dexter, please.
Sabrina, how's your week been?
It has been wonderful. I've had an amazing week, despite the rain.
Yes.
And a little bit of the allergies that are, the allergens in the air that's attacked us. But other than that, it's been wonderful.
Awesome. And Mandisha, how has your week been?
My week has been awesome. I'm
Okay.
ending my week with my good friend Sabrina coming way down here from Atlanta to help her stomp for House District 168.
Okay. All right. Oh, look, traveling friends always the best one, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they traveling with a purpose.
Yes,
Yeah,
they are.
exactly. It's like, girl, you 4 hours away. All right, I'm coming. No, they're coming. You better feed them, too. You got to feed it well now.
Yes.
You got to take care of people like that. So, anyways, my week, I just want to say to all the kings and queens, look, the older you get.
Hold on. Let me do the honors, man.
What's up?
I don't even want you to tell us about the week, because today is a very special day, man. Some call it a national holiday, man. King Conda, man, he's celebrating his birthday today, man. And I am honored, man. It's a privilege that you would take out the time, man, to sit here with us on your birthday. You could be doing anything else with anybody else, man, your beautiful family. Shout out to them for allowing you to take out this time, man, to do what you do best, man, and that's pour back into the community, man. Happy birthday to you, King.
Man, I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that, Wiggle. Well, I'm doing what I love. Shoot, it is what it is. I enjoyed a beautiful brunch with my wife. I also got one of those songs. Y'all got to hear the song. The song is hard. I mean, she did a great job. So she wrote a song for me, so I heard that one. And my daughter got me a present, itty bitty. She got me my favorite gummy bears. And a beautiful card.
Okay.
So, and my other gifts was car shield. I don't know. See, when you get older, you get older gifts, right? Car shield is like coverage for your car, so you don't have to pay for repairs.
Amen.
And you better be glad how happy. I was like, what? You got me 3 months of car shield? I was like, I was like, yes, Lord. So yes, it's been a very, very good birthday. I got exactly what I wanted and what I needed.
That's good.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
When I reach that age, whatever that age is, I want car shield for my birthday.
You hear that? See, look, y'all know I'm young. I just turned 34. I just turned 34 on today. And, you know, it's different from 33. I'm not going to lie. It's very different. Now I'm 44, y'all. Let me stop playing with you. Look, and it's like, nah, you look older than that. Nah. But no, I turned 44 today, guys. And it's been a wonderful day. I feel good. I feel like I'm 39 again, you know?
Yeah.
Getting ready for a fight. Didn't know it was going to be that much work, man. I didn't know. The sweat, the tears, and the blood, all these push-ups, planks, all that.
Hey man, I seen Jay at the spot I DJ last night, and Jay was in there to the beats, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, he's getting in the groove, getting in the rhythm.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look, man, I'm gonna let them beat up on me, man. You know, I just don't stand there and take them. I'm just preparing for that. You know, Big J got it. Big J got it. So, let's get to it, Miss Sabrina.
Yes, sir.
You are running for
House seat 168 for Georgia as state representative.
Yes. And now, is this your first time running for a political position?
Elected by the people, yes.
Okay. Now, tell me what you feel like. How was the experience? How's the experience going thus far?
So far, I've had a lot of fun. You know, I've worked with many candidates, and I've seen and heard them say, "This is so tedious. This is so horrible. I'm having nothing but fun." And I'm like thinking, I don't know how y'all don't like this. The only part that I don't like is call time, but other than that, I'm loving it.
Now you said call time. What's
Yes. So every day you designate a X amount of hours to call people on a list, and you're asking for money.
I get you.
Yeah.
It's that donation time.
Yeah, and only you can do it. So other than that, I hate being locked down in one space. But other than that, I'm having a wonderful time.
Awesome. Now, are you taking that grassroots approach? Because I know it's call time, but how much walk time? Like really?
It is a lot of walking, but we have initiated a grassroots movement, and we have people that like Mandisha who's come from Atlanta to help us, but we have a lot of Liberty Countyans that have just joined this movement. They're making calls. They're either, donating some type of time in some type of way. But for the most part, it's myself and my husband, on the weekends, we're hitting the streets, we're putting out the sign, we're door knocking, we're canvassing, we're doing that. We're doing all the things.
Okay. All right. And how's the experiences been? Have you got to any doors that was a tough one? Because sometimes when you walk to them door knockers, man, you get into like a 50-minute conversation with somebody that wants to tell you all about, well, let me tell you what they should do. And so have you gotten any of those yet?
I have had those type of encounters. However, I listen. I like to listen. I like to hear what the issues are. The only problem that I think a lot of candidates have an issue with is when you meet that one person and they're literally talking to you as if you don't even know what you're doing. Like you're not a candidate, you've never experienced politics before, and they start telling you, okay, how to make pancakes, basically. You take the flour and then you take the milk and then you whisk it really hard. Have you ever done that? That type of thing, that type of conversation. And but you still listen. You just listen to what they have to say, and then you be like, no, I've never made pancakes before. Please tell me how you make your pancakes. So, we just kind of like go from there. But other than that, I haven't had a problem.
Okay. Now, as far as where you were brought up, are you a Liberty County hometown girl, or are you?
No.
Because most people are. Look, a lot of people are. What do you call it? What do you call them?
Transplants.
Transplants. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then you get here, you fall in love with the community, or you were forced here by the military. But how did you make it to Liberty County?
So we came to Liberty County in 2001 by the way of the military. I'm originally from Louisiana, though. So when we first left, got orders to come here, everyone said, you do not want to go to Hinesville,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But when we got here, this community is very much like my town in Louisiana. We're by the water, we're a rural community.
Mm-hmm.
Liberty County is a little bit bigger, but other than that, the populace is maybe it's a little bit off, or it may have changed over the years, but it's very similar, and I fell in love with it. I knew when we built our home here in 2003 that we were going to make this our home, and we both love it. My husband and I are both from small towns. He's from Kentucky, so we just fell in love with it. We can do everything that I've done as a child. We lived off the land of Louisiana, so we've gone shrimping, crabbing, fishing.
Yeah.
Every access to life, is here. So
Yes.
we love it.
Beautiful waters.
Yes.
Very beautiful waters. And thank you, McCord. I appreciate it. I got the shout out of the happy birthday in the chat. We got to give shouts out to all the kings and queens. We have a beautiful queen. Look, Ursula Menendez. We got Michael McCord, Lawrence Warfowl, Justin Frazier, Gabrielle Williams, Dex, of course, he's watching right now with us. But to all you kings and queens that's watching, don't forget, go to YouTube also and subscribe. That's Black Kings Free Game on YouTube. And also hit that friends button or follow button and share it out to other people, because right now we are live. But guess what? It won't show out to everybody. Facebook has somehow denied me access to go live publicly while we're filming. So if you can check us out on YouTube, that would be great. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget yourhomechamp.com. That's yourhomechamp.com for all your buying and selling needs. And Grey Wolf Trucking LLC. You need it moved, they get in the groove. Call Grey Wolf Trucking LLC. Also, any shouts out for any businesses?
At the moment, no, I don't have any shout outs. Unless I can think of something later, then
Okay.
it'll come to me.
I know, of course, King Wiggle. Shout him out, Bubba.
Who do I want to shout out, man? I want to
It's yourself. What do you mean?
Who do I want to shout out? Nah, man. First and foremost, man, I got to shout out my brothers, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Always,
sir.
man. My sister Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. To all my family, man. Shout out to my family that's out there in Jones Hill right now. To the Morris family, especially my uncle passed earlier this week, and so. Everybody is here. His service of the morning. Shout out to my frat brother, man, Reggie Pierce, man, and the funeral home. They're doing the services, and just to everybody who rocks with me. Without you, there is no me. When people say that, you don't really get it until you understand that. If people don't rock with me, I can't DJ.
There you go. The crowd ain't rocking.
I
You ain't
cannot
popping.
DJ. But hey, I got a question. Can I ask a question?
Of course.
So, in this race, have you dealt with anybody, whether he asked about it in person, but social media, is there anybody or anything that comes along that you want to address? I want to hear what that is.
Yes. Okay. So social media is totally different from being in person. On social media, there is a particular person that's just been attacking me. It's an older woman, and she's been attacking me. I've never met her, so I don't, I wish I could meet her so she could see me, or I wish she would read about me. But I do believe one of the things that she's noted in her, comments to me is that it's not my time. I'm not really certain where that comes from, but I've heard it a lot when it comes to people running for different positions or applying for different positions here. And my thing is, I don't think man deems your time. Your time is ordained, and when it's your time because you move on that time. But I wish that people would understand that this is not personal. This is personal. You know what I mean? So basically, this is nothing about. This is nothing to take offense about. This is something that we do. It's something that's going to continue to be done. And whoever wins the seat or wins the next election is going to be somebody else that comes behind them, and they're going to run as well. And they have every right to. So, yeah.
I think one of the things about time and it being anybody's time, when there are a lot of people who want to work for a community or want to work in an organization or a business or in any capacity, if they're, let's just say, there are 20 people at the same time wanting to do one thing in particular at one time. And we say, now it's just not your time. Like, so how do you position or prioritize each individual that has a desire to do this work? Whatever that work is, like, oh, no, it's not your time. And so I think, even for me, because I've heard it, I've experienced it, like, you might need to wait. And I'm like, again, age-wise, I'm young still, but I'm 41. I'll be 42 in a month and some change, right? And so, at what point or at what age?
I've been hit with that a lot my whole life. I mean, even when I went into real estate, you know what I'm saying? It's not your time to get into something like that. Older people. I remember hearing this from my own family, all the way down from anything I did. This podcast, it might not be time, right? So what I started doing was, I did it anyway, but I started making efforts. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like the efforts, like to become a realtor, I had to be in the right rooms. I had to know the right people. And I had to find people that would trust $400,000. You know what I'm saying? Like they're making an investment. So I kind of created that person, just like everybody has to do. It's a process. Going to the right spots. Like when I was getting into the politics and everything, when I wanted to understand politics, I went to all of the meetings. I started popping up at everything that was available. I would be there to try and learn. That's how I started learning about them budgets. And then, a lot of my brothers, they got involved in politics because they wanted to make a difference. So I think people need to know the avenue. Like you said, you can start now and don't listen to other folks. If you got a direct mindset to attack something, do it. Just be very calculated about it.
Yeah, I saw this on Instagram. It says the goal isn't to be known by many, it's to be trusted by the right ones so your name feels like a safe decision.
Yes. That's true.
And
that's
so
true.
I do believe that, it's cliche, but people say it all the time. It ain't what you know, it's who you know.
Right. Yeah.
But I am of the opinion that sometimes you can know the right people, but they still lock you into this box. Well, no, not yet. You know what I'm saying? Not yet, right? So I want to ask, even in doing this, has there ever been a time that you asked yourself, like, do I really, really want to do that? As much love as I have for the people or for the community or for trying to take this to another, do I really want to do this?
Absolutely. So Mandisha can attest to this. We've had many conversations while she was in office. We've had many conversations about where do I go? Because I've been approached before I decided where I'm supposed to go. So let me share the story. I've always known that I was supposed to go into a political position. I've known it all my life. But what that political position was. So, and I've been asked to run for several seats, from Congress to state Senate to all the things, right? But at that point, I kept saying, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. I really rely heavily on my spirit. And I always say my spirit knows where I need to go. So we would have deep conversations, and Mandisha's like, girl, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? And I'm like, I'll know and I'll know. So this conversation has been taking place about me running for state rep for many years. And every 2 years it comes up, and I said, no, it's not time. But it was this particular time I dug deep into the background, what has been taking place over the last 10 years, because I feel that is a great time to decide if you move or if you don't move. And then I realized that this is the perfect time, and who would be a better challenger than, if not me, then who? So I knew it was time for me to step into the ring.
So
Can I hit that timepiece one?
Yeah, give me one second. Let me throw in my people. What's going on, Keith Wynn? Also, thank you, Reed in the building, and Kim McLaughlin.
Hey, it's
Thank you guys.
Keith celebrated a birthday too, man.
Who's that?
Recently, Keith Wynn. He celebrated a birthday like today, yesterday, something like that. I saw him on
Happy
Facebook.
birthday, bro. Happy birthday. Today's my day. But go ahead, Mandisha.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that timepiece because I know Miss Sabrina has struggled a little bit with with a couple of people on social media and maybe saying that it's not her time. But I think everybody can concur that time is man-made. And so it exists when it's supposed to exist for you. And so the only person for me that can delve into time is that higher power. And that's the one that can stop time,
Absolutely.
push time forward, and escalate time. And so the bottom line is it's your constitutional right to run. Anybody can run. It's your constitutional right.
This is why I love her. This is why I love her, y'all. Yes, and she's absolutely right. One of the things you see a lot of people do is, they'll run for something, or they'll want to be the face of something, or they'll need to be. Every initiative that I've taken, it has come with a lot of angst, because you want to know, am I supposed to really be doing this? But I'm doing it anyway. So with that being said, you don't really want to step on toes, as people say, but sometimes that needs to happen because that's the only time that we can move. As I always say, change can only happen with the change of seasons, or growth can only happen with the change of seasons. So here we are.
Yes. And right now, I think, because, man, if you only understood how many candidates there are running, just wow,
Primary.
serious, like this is the most ever, right?
Right.
And it's hard sifting through because look, everybody has good intent.
Right.
Everybody.
Or at least we think.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no. In their mind, seriously,
Right. Oh, yeah.
everybody has that good intent. And I would say, look, growing up and even now, I have good intent, but that doesn't mean that everybody else is going to accept what my good intent is.
Right.
Right.
Like a lot of people are going to see my good intent. They'll be like, nah, well, I don't like it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, or do I need to take a vote before I do my good intent? I get that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think more unity on things needs to happen. I think a bigger space of where you might have a candidate, it might need to be opened up to just say, hey, we're going to open the door, come in, let's talk, let's see where we meet. You know what I'm saying? See if I can, you know what I mean?
Right.
We need to be more open to allow people to be embraced. I ain't been seeing a lot of that. I haven't been seeing a lot of that. And I hear different reasons on why.
Yeah, I think everybody at some point they just have their an agenda, right? And I think with, let's just say, the black community for one part of it, right? But then the community at large,
Yes.
there's so many things that happen, so many things that are going on, so many things that we like and or dislike, we agree or disagree on, and then somebody comes and say, hey, I'm going to run, and then I'm going to make all of this happen.
Right.
Well, one,
Yes.
that's humanly impossible in my mind, because just when you think of a timetable that somebody has, right? You don't know how much education and or experience somebody has outside of what they say.
Right.
And now we got Chat GPT, so you really don't know if what somebody is putting out is actually real. But let's just say somebody actually really is experienced and educated and or has a network or a team of people that's behind closed doors that you never really get the opportunity to see, that saying, hey, this is that and this is what we address and how we do it. My thing always is if as a people we don't say, out of the 10 things that are on the list, these top 3 things need to be done
Right.
within a certain time span. And now, out of the people running, who do we trust can get those top 3 things done? Because if you're talking to me about 7, 8, 9, we need 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And if this person can do 1, 2, and 3, whoever said person is, we need to get 1, 2. We need to get that person. And I think a lot of times we become so discontent that all right, I'll just say it, right?
Just say
Right. Yeah.
So even in just my thought process behind around sharing, I do think, because I've experienced, if we just don't give people opportunities to succeed and or fail,
Right.
you don't know. Or, for example, like you say, you put yourself in those positions to get into those realtor spaces. I've said it on air before. There's some rooms I have absolutely no desire to be in, because I just know if you go into that room, whatever good intention you went in there with, you're gonna come back warped, and you're just not gonna be the same.
See, but that's the thing. That's the thing.
I know you told me off air. You told me off air. He did.
Room. It doesn't matter if I think I'm gonna get back whatever. If I don't get back nothing, I gotta go in that room for that, at least that first time, because guess what? I'm coming back to that room again. I'm coming back to that room again. And that's what I've learned is the rooms that I feel the most uncomfortable in are probably the rooms that would help me get the things that I need done. And see, that's the cold hard truth, because at that point, whoever's in that room, despite if I like them or not, I gotta work with them. And that's what I gotta build myself up to be. Like, hey, well, look, let me tell you something. Let me find us some common ground. This is our common ground. You don't like me, I don't like you. But guess what? Let me tell you what type of person, what type of man I am. I'm the type of man that even if I like you or not, bro, we gotta get this done, because this is not our position. It's the people's position. Now, at that point, when I've made that abundantly clear, guess what I do? If that person's not listening, I make it abundantly clear out in the open. Hey guys, this is what I've been doing, and I'm gonna say it to the public. Look, such and such candidate, such and such, or whatever the position they're in, I've been reaching out, and I still want to reach out. I'm not bad mouthing them. Look, let me tell you the top programs they're doing right. Boom, boom, boom. Now I want to help you, but you need to help me also. And that's the hardest thing. Right now, there's no humbling anybody. Everybody wants to go in like, I shouldn't have to do that. Or I'm the man, I'm going to do it differently. But then you find out the reason it's not getting done is because this person don't want to talk to this person. That's it. That's why a lot of stuff isn't getting done, because people don't want to communicate. They want to go in their own lane and try to go around them. And going around something instead of going straight at it is the worst decision ever.
I don't disagree. There's still some rooms that I just don't want to go in.
I get it. I understand.
So to your point in kickback. So we stated the ask earlier about. I mean, we know you're not from Liberty County, right? Yeah. So how do you handle and I got a question for you too. But how do you handle or deal with that kickback? And after she answers that, being a true friend and supporter, how do you handle and deal with the things that she has to deal with?
You know, hit y'all with a double whammy.
Yeah, true.
Well, go ahead.
So so when I was growing up, you know, we didn't have a lot. So I was bullied from the moment I started school until the moment I left school, because I couldn't handle it anymore. Bullying is a real thing, and people think that only children bully. No, adults do it too.
Right.
You know, and I was a very fearful child growing up. A fearful child growing up. But when I hit the age of 25, you know, I truly had a come to Jesus moment, if you will. So the fear that I had dissipated. It was no longer there. So I don't walk into any rooms, and I'm saying this with all honesty. There is no room that I walk in that I'm fearful. It goes away. It used to be that way, but you know, when you were a child, you think like a child. You know, that doesn't happen to me anymore. And I've been into some very powerful rooms. But one of the things that I do linger on is the fact of, going back to what Mark said, when people are basically, I consider those potholes, when people don't want to interact with you or interface with you. But God gave me a gift where I can move around those potholes. And that's just how I see them. I don't see them as an issue. And I do believe you can get the work done without stepping into the pothole. I do believe that. But the other part of that is, I think sometimes with me, I want to focus. I'm so focused on how to fix the problem that I still integrate that person, because people expect for you to take the high ground. And that means that you bring those people into your life or your space and you work with them. There is such a thing called toxic relationships.
For sure.
You know? So with that being said, I had to realize what's toxic to me. And when I communicate with my friends and they'll say, well, Sabrina, talk to him. I'm like, it's toxic. I already know what this is. But they do give me a ground that gives me a little bit of levity to move around that toxicity. And if I have to go and talk with that person, I'll do it.
Now, Trey, what was my question?
So being the, you know, on this journey, being the friend and the supporter, you travel, you know, to come down to, you know, help handle some business. Like, how is it when you hear the conversations and the things that she don't share and don't show? How, as a friend, do you handle that? You know, because some friends want to fight the battle, you know what I'm saying? But then some people like, no, let's.
She's a teacher.
So how do you do that?
Right. And let me just start by saying this because a few things were said. So, as it relates to her and bullying, it is a real thing. Matter of fact, one of my first pieces of legislation was bullying in the workplace. And it was a constituent bill who had been experiencing a lot of bullying, an older guy, fireman from Seattle, and he had been experiencing a lot of bullying in the workplace. So I do want to acknowledge that it is real, and maybe that'll be one of your portfolios for your first year. What I'm supporting Sabrina in a 360. I know what it takes in politics. Politics is a science. Something Mark said earlier about getting things done and talking and working with people. When I first came into office, the old ladies from the church said, baby, just go in there and do the right thing. Just go do the right thing. That's not how politics works. Each side is thinking they're doing the right thing. So who's right? Who determines who's right? Most of the time it's your constituents. They're going to determine what's the right thing and what's right. So I know that Sabrina has what it takes to listen, comprehend, act, and get things done. Mark, you talked about getting things done.
Yes.
It's not that easy. This is a Democratic district. You're a Democrat, and this state is ran by Republicans. You talked about you don't want to go in certain rooms. Well, there's certain rooms you, as a Democrat, you won't even get in, so you don't have to worry about going. So, for instance, there's a thing called agree and disagree when it comes to legislation. So if your legislation comes in and makes it to the floor, it went through all the channels and matriculated all the way down, and some people have some problems with it, they disagree with it, they send it back to the Senate, it may come back to the House, come back to the Senate. They're not running Democrat bills that way. Nobody cares about what the Democrat even really wants most of the time. You're not going into a room to find out if we can fix this out when they come in with the big lobbyists and break out the wine. Democrats are not going into those rooms, but we've got to go into those rooms even if we don't want to. You have to strive to get to those types of rooms. One thing, I don't want to say, for a lack of a better term, when I felt like I made it in politics, and we talked about it earlier today, I was in the garage of the legislators, and we were going out to a dinner, to a committee dinner, and it's mainly Republicans on the committee, and they saw me walk and they said, hey, Mandisha, want to ride? And I looked around to see if anybody was looking, because I wanted to ride because that was a room.
Yeah.
That was a room that I wanted to get in and build that relationship and get to know them to get the things that you say you want to get done. But for aesthetic purposes, for the party, I couldn't take a chance on doing that one. That was one that I forego. But there are going to be times that Sabrina is going to have to go into these rooms and take the fiery darts for doing it. And as a friend, I'm going to be supporting her, and I know that she can do it.
So if you can, what office did you hold or do you hold?
State representative.
Okay.
House District 65.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm glad you said that right there, because that's what I see a lot of, and see that when I see people that can navigate, that's the reason on why I think the way I think, you know, from a conversation earlier. But if that is something that can be overcome, I'm with it. You understand what I'm saying? Because I see some people and how they navigate. And I seen a Democrat go over there to the Republicans to talk. I mean, show up at their events. You know what I mean? Like that. And I see them networking. I'm like, oh, snap. This is what I want to see. Now, despite what everybody else say, I know y'all think it's red or blue. You know what I'm saying? Just like gangs. Like, oh, no, you ain't supposed to see it. Look, that's not the way America is supposed to work. America wasn't supposed to work where you only on this side or this side. No, we're supposed to be working together. It's supposed to be about values and what's going to push the country forward.
Right.
And if it was about values and what pushes the country forward, we wouldn't see what we are seeing today. For real. It should be some common sense and logical moves being made. And I mean on both freaking sides. And I'm tired of that. I want somebody that's going to fight for everybody. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what their preferences are as for love. I don't care. All I want to do is make sure, look, we're in America. America's not perfect. Do you understand me? We went through some atrocities, some real atrocities, right? And we were supposed to be moving through these atrocities, right? Moving forward through these atrocities. And at some point, I don't understand how it got back to like atrocities or like it was back then. We're in 2026 and we're still talking about the same thing. When are we gonna start making moves on, hey, you know what? I understand why these projects are the way they are. I understand it because we're not actually issuing help. We should have the programs there. Why in the world is there the building? You know, Anthony Oliver, Mr. Andre Oliver. Andre Oliver. He goes into
Harbor Rain.
Raintree, and he meets with those young boys and young girls, and he gives them something to do. He gives them something to look forward to. And he uses a building that's already there that was supposed to be there to teach kids. Why isn't those programs running? Why aren't we out here screaming about that? Why are we not trying to educate people financially? Why can't we get financial literacy classes? Why are we just attacking, they do drugs and they sell drugs, but what else does somebody learn if there's no other options?
I think that goes back to what Mandisha said earlier, or maybe it was Sabrina. Somebody, I think it was you. Somebody said something. But in terms of who determines who's right. So if I feel like this is what my people need to be successful, then this is what we do. But if they, whoever they are, feel like this is what we have to do to make our people successful, everybody doesn't see this as this is America and this is how we move until it's time for America to fight a war that has nothing to do with the people who hadn't started and or created this war. But when it comes time for standing up for the people here, that's when there's a differentiated learning curve. And so, Sabrina, how do we approach that differentiated learning curve? Like what works for Riceboro versus Hinesville, Walthamville, Alahurst? Or what? You know what what I should ask is, for the people that don't know, you know, the terminologies or the levels of house, districts, numbers, and stuff like that. Can you do a quick, elementary lesson on that?
On the House districts?
Well, yeah. Like what you're running for and what it means.
Okay. So I am running for State Representative House District 168, and that encompasses Liberty County only. So I want to give a little history about that because it goes into the redistricting, and I think you touched on that a little bit earlier. So House District 168 comprised of more than just Liberty County in 2000. It was from Glenn County all the way down to Liberty County. So Glenn County, Wayne County, Long County, and some of McIntosh County. Okay, that was all of House District 168. However, in 2000, we were redistricted. Then we were redistricted again in 2005. And then we were redistricted again in 2020. So we became this little small piece of a pie, which became Liberty County, which was House District 168. Now, if you are a legislator and you are a Democratic legislator and you're elected to a Democratic district, you're in a very safe space However, we've come to the time such as now where they're looking at these Democratic strongholds. So you put that Democratic stronghold in a place of danger. Is there a real possibility that this could be, that Liberty County could be severed or split into fractions? I don't believe as a community we will be, but there's a possibility, right? So with that being said, technically, the role of a state representative is to ensure that we have legislation that works for the community, for our community. But you're also acting upon state legislative pieces, so like Medicaid and housing issues, voting rights, those things like that. But you basically have direct oversight of the financial needs of your community. You also get you are also appointed to certain boards. So current Representative Al Williams sits on the Appropriations Board, which is the money board pretty much. So you decide where the money comes from. You decide where the money comes from, goes to. You decide who gets the money. You have a lot of oversight over that money. So a part of your role is to be a good steward of the people's money. You are to make sure, so if I give your organization, say you had a trade mentors, right? And it was a literacy program. Well, we know that there's a big literacy grant that's getting ready to come down, the biggest that Georgia's ever seen. If I basically see your paperwork come through, I'm like, okay, yeah, let's give this money to trade mentors, right? And I know trade is misusing that money, but that's state money. That's the people's money. It is my job to ask for an audit into your organization to make sure that you are basically doing the job. So I have responsibilities, strong responsibilities. It's, economic responsibility. I have responsibilities to infrastructure, housing, property taxes, all the things, the charters. The charters are a big deal, especially when they pertain to authorities here in Liberty County. So I would have direct oversight of that. I will sit with folks. I will see what you need. And if you don't need those things, or if it's not working for Liberty County, it is my job to ensure that it does. So if that means I have to update or make a recommendation to the county or the city that this doesn't really apply anymore, we need to change it, then that is my job. We are not yes men. The state representatives are not yes men or yes women. You have real responsibilities, and you are also governed by an ethics board. So in those responsibilities, you have to be ethical in making the decision. So can I come to trades mentors and bully you, or say no, I need you to use this money that way? No, that is not my job. That is not my job. It is my responsibility to go to a city council or county and tell them to do something that way. No, that's not my job.
You're not saying that anybody's bullying anybody.
No. No, but based off of, what we know has happened in legislature, we know that this happens. So, but it is not my job to do that. And a lot of people don't know exactly what those roles are, because when you see our legislator, he's a part of so many things. And these are like the LCDA, which has been a real subject in our community. To me, that is a conflict of interest.
What's the LCDA?
CDA is the Liberty County Development Authority. It is a entity that the county requests to be in place to help with economic development, right? So basically, once it becomes a county entity, the county then appoints residents to be on this board. Those residents make those economic development decisions. But with that comes a lot of money. Now, the charter has not been changed since 1958. That allows the former governors, and I say governors, I'm talking about legislators, so mayors, county commissioner chair, state board, the state representative to sit on those boards. It also allows people who don't live here to sit on those boards to make decisions for Liberty Countyans. So your property taxes, your millage rate, those people are making those decisions. What comes here? If jobs come here, those people are making the decisions. So since this is not working in 2026, It is my job as a state representative to say it is time for us to change that charter at the state level, because that is my role.
So, quick question: what is it about the charter? And also, I have another question. With all of the things that you just stated that we're encountering or could be encountering, right there, do you think that you would have the fortitude to encounter that and fight back on any of the issues that you would have at this critical moment?
The 42?
Well,
Fortitude.
The fortitude.
Oh, the fortitude.
Yeah, fortitude.
Yeah, because so there's a thing called local legislation. So that is basically, it's hardly ever denied. Even though we craft it for our community, it has to go through all the proper channels, but it's rarely ever denied. So if I write a legislative action to change the charter, I would put it forth and they would say, okay, well, this pertains to their district. And then it happens. So that's an easy fix. It's a real easy fix. Now, if you're asking me to go in and reverse the property tax bill that's gone in place, that takes an act of God, because once bill goes into place and becomes law, it's very hard to overturn.
Now, from my understanding, he was appointed by the commission, right?
Who was appointed by the commission?
Not commissioner, but State Representative Al Williams. That was prior to him even becoming state rep.
It's a part of the charter. It's a part of an outdated charter. So the charter allows it, because even for the department, the authority that I sit on, it allows elected officials and outdated officials to sit on the authority. It is a conflict of interest, and because it is a state representative that sits on the authority as a state representative, it is a concentration of power. So meaning he not only has power at the state level, he also has a double power at the county level.
At the county level.
Yes.
Now, if you were on these boards, right, would you not want it that way? If you're a state representative, that way you can guide money into the community to combine with programs?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because I think there are Liberty Countyans who can make those good decisions. You know, if there is a let's just say, for instance, Trey. I'll use Trey. Trey, you're gonna be my person today.
Yeah,
okay?
Go ahead.
Let's just say Trey was, and we hear this all the time. Trey, you are a general contractor, right? Economic development consists of what? Building, correct? Okay, so Trey, you're a contractor here, and you come to me and you say, Sabrina, I got all these great ideas. I've seen your work. It's magnificent. I've seen it. But why don't I get an opportunity to sit on this board? Well, because we have such and such from such and such that sits on the board that don't live here. Now, you are a resident. This other person is making the decision on what you do in your own community. Meanwhile, they go to their community and they live a nice life and don't pay a high property tax. As a state representative, I wouldn't want to be on that board, or an elected official. I wouldn't want to be on that board, because I have residents. I have constituents who can fill those roles.
So I was unaware that board had any control of the millage rates and everything. I thought the commissioners were in charge of our property taxes in Liberty County.
So there's a thing called quasi-governmental entities. That is a quasi-governmental entity, along with the hospital. The hospital is also a quasi-governmental entity. So the Board of Commission and the school board also help implement the millage rate. The city also help implement a millage rate. So anything that has been deemed by the state, which these authorities are, the housing is a quasi-governmental entity. So anything that's been deemed by the state as its own entity, because once these people are appointed to the board, they cannot be removed by a local official unless their time has expired from the board. Only the state can. So you become a state representative without the elected part, and you decide how your community develops.
Okay.
Yeah. The state calls these people economic developers. And a lot of the people don't get the education to be that. They're just put into the position to do those things. But what my concern is we're not giving Liberty Countyans a chance to occupy these spaces. We should be able to give our residents a chance to not only make the decisions on where they live, work, and play, but how they want their communities to grow.
I believe that our citizens should have that option. And also, I want to give shots out to King Boston. King Boston
What's
said
up,
he's tapping
Mitch?
in and speaks to everyone. And also, yeah, I see it, bro. Thank you for my birthday. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that so much. You should be here, but King Boston's out of town because he has a graduate. Man, these kids are graduating fast. You hear me?
Congratulations to you,
Another
sir.
college grad, and I believe she is AKA. Am I right? I believe I'm right. But anyways, congratulations on the graduate, bro, and have a safe trip and a safe trip back. But continuing on, with everything and the knowledge that you have, what are some areas that you see that is going to be your first priorities, or were those your first priorities there?
Changing the charters are my first priority. Changing the charter is my very first priority. I want Liberty Countyans to start taking responsibility of their community.
Okay, I guess I'm looking at it like it's a HOA. You're saying like that organization is like a HOA. Like an HOA, if we want to build something, we got to get it approved, and if we want to bring amenities, then we all put into the pot, and I guess that would be our property taxes in order to like do an addition. You know what an HOA is, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, what you're telling me is that the people that's in this bigger board is like a HOA over Liberty County. Is that a best way to describe it in layman's?
But what she's saying is that, let's just say you in your neighborhood, there's a HOA. There's people who don't live in your neighborhood
I get that
on the
part.
HOA.
Yeah, I get
that's
that
how
part.
he broke it down because you gave us the gifted version of the elementary school. He's giving us the IEP version. I
Yes,
like that.
of course.
That was the IEP version.
Yes.
Well, I do want to say one thing about that, and this seems to be one of Sabrina's biggest platform points. It's something that she's recognized as an issue, and quite frankly, other constituents have as well. But I do want to make a point that it's not germane to just Liberty County.
Yeah.
Like there has been several bills across the legislature that have tried to stop this, and it just hadn't
As a
passed.
whole.
So there's people in other parts of Georgia that don't want
To stop.
it's almost like shun the very appearance of evil. It minimizes the improprieties that could take place when you're double sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So it would be like kind of like the president of the United States acting as the Secretary of War. Would you want that?
Say again.
Or
It would be like the
Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, Secretary. You know, he's a Secretary.
It's Secretary of War.
Yeah, he's a,
Yeah.
Would you
Secretary of
want
War.
that? I mean, we don't really want the Secretary of War, but you got it right. So, would you want a president to be the Secretary of War? Absolutely not. You would not. No.
Oh, look, no. I'm telling you, I'm not, like,
Another
my mind is wild because I think strategy is everything. So it all depends on who you are because, yeah, it's a lot of people that are the Secretary of Wars in there. Yeah. Matter of fact, in our country, it was a general and he was a president, Washington. So he was producing the strategy. That's how we got here.
But we were nowhere near where we are now. So you're looking at a different timeline. But now we have this evolution, and we're going to continue to have an evolution. Politics change every 2 years. It changes, and if you don't have the mindset and you're not changing with it, we're going to collapse. So you asked the question, you're like, why do we continue to see the same problems over and over? I'll share this story with you. At Dr. King's 50th anniversary for his death, I was asked to come and speak at the first Saturday at Dorchester, right, in regards to the chamber. When I walked into the building, you could feel, that was my first time being in the Dorchester, so you could feel there was a heaviness. But before I spoke to everyone, I walked through it and I just took in the essence of it. So I went in, took a seat. I was at the head of the table. You saw all the elders sitting in there. And I did my speech, but as I spoke to them and I was closing, I looked around and I said, I find it very ironic that we're still fighting for the same things that we fought for 50 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy to me though. So I look at that differently because 50 years and 60 years ago, we were fighting for a lot of different things and we had to conquer a lot. At this point, and I get what everybody else's mind state is, but no, we're not fighting the same fight. We're now fighting a fight that we refuse to correct. I believe that our focus points are straight on political, and we're right here in the community that we can fix. A lot of these things stem from our family structures. And if we don't get that intact and we keep confusing and staking out our family structures like it doesn't matter, we're going to continue to get the same result because there's no way that somebody else can come here, they get here, they fill out and they do everything they're supposed to be here in America, and then all of a sudden they flourish because they have their own standards of what it is. They don't listen to all the foolishness. And I think that we divided ourselves. We don't have a standard anymore. It used to be when we were under the most oppression, we were putting out, I guess, the best people. I mean, shoot, teachers would be respected. If you had a teacher or anything coming from your family, we were looking at that like that was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Nowadays, it's really taken for granted because we don't have the respect in the community or anything. We have to reestablish who we are in our own communities. We have to stop trying to throw money or try to maintain money from people that aren't going to help. If that hadn't changed in 60 years and they supposedly got all these billions and billions of dollars that has been received over this course of years and you're telling me everything's still the same or getting worse? We got to do too now.
So to that, what I would say is, and this is just my personal take.
Yeah, you good.
We look at who was there then and who is there now.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a big thing.
You know? And so,
yeah.
That's a big point too.
And what I mean by that is because I see both points, right? Like I think we are fighting the same fight in some essences, and I just think where we are now, there are different things because times have changed. There's evolution and all of those different advancements. However, I think at the core of it, I think they call it like post-traumatic slave disorder.
No,
right?
No, I don't believe none of that.
Hey, listen. No, I said that's what they call it. But
I get.
But,
they be calling us a lot of stuff.
But no. But this is what I mean. This is what I mean because you hit the nail on the head, right? Because we had this conversation. Like I think we've been on the show. This is my third time.
Yes.
We had this, but this is what I do believe to the point because I brought the same point he just made. I think I made that point. To either the first episode or the second episode, how is it that other people can come into our communities and flourish and we cannot? So it goes back to my answer. Look at who was in power then or who was in our offices or our representatives then. And not against any one person in particular, you know what I'm saying? But it's just that I think at some point we got
to wake up.
That, but I think that, so it's like saying, hey, we were in the fields, so y'all got to be content with getting in the house.
Yeah.
Now we're in the house, y'all got to get content with going to school, and then you get in school and you got to do it. So it's like we have these little ticks, but someone told me like, well, where all of that wealth and power at, where those people actually control those things, we're just not there, and we're content with just being able to get in that room and hear, or we're content with it, but until we're able to get to that point of place where everybody, that's why I said, if there were 10 things that we wanted done, what are those 3 things that we say, this is what we need done? And who is that person or who are those people that are going to get those 3 things done? And once we knock off those 3, and they did it successfully, why are we moving them? Let them get 4, 5, and 6. And if they got some more people that they're teaching and those people are learning, now they're growing with you. So let's just say your time does expire by just rite of passage. Your life happens, right? Those people know what 4 through 10 were, and we're still working. It's just the fact that we have people that they die out. You know what I'm saying? Or they age out, and then those people, we have no idea what the rest of those things were. And then so now the game changes, or we move further away. And so
Number one.
You know what I'm saying? These people come in and they like, hey, and I'm ignorant to this, but what it say, like you have what the Indians or the natives had certain lands. You hear in Alabama and these different places, people say, "Hey, we're natives too, so this is our land," and they getting the money and they getting this land.
Yes.
But I hear we're down here in Riceboro, from Riceboro down to St. Augustine and Sapelo Island and all these different places. These folks fighting for their stuff, and they don't have nobody to speak for them because they don't have the education, right? They don't have the experience. They probably want to be in those rooms, but they don't know how to get in those rooms. They ain't me, right? They don't know how to get in those rooms.
That's the bad part.
You know what I'm saying? Like you had those aspects, but for me, so let's just say Trey might not want to get in the rooms, but I say, hey, I might not want to go in there, but I got you. I'll push you to get in there, and I'm with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. But if I can say something here, we are dealing with gatekeepers. We have gatekeepers. And even what Mark said is a form of gatekeeping because he's wanting us to focus on one thing. When we know we have the talent to be multitasking, and we know that we have the talent to get things done. You know, one of the things I admire about people who have ADHD is the fact that those are the most incredible workers I've ever seen. They can do multiple things. They can do multiple things at one time. You know, where people think that, something's wrong with that person. No, I believe they have the ability to get things done. But we gatekeep. And then when we talk about education, you know, one of the things that I've been attacked for just because I'm running is on my education. Now, I've gone to law school. My background is law and policy, and they still say I know nothing. I've created businesses, gave people jobs. I have created an economic development ecosystem, not for just Liberty County, but for coastal Georgia, and they still say I know nothing. So we're dealing with people in mindsets. These are gatekeepers, and if you don't move around those potholes, you will always think forever, what could I have done? Because you're listening to things that are limiting. One of the points that we have to move past is the fact that we don't have the ability to be great on our own. We don't have to get permissions. I do, what does the saying go? It's better to ask for forgiveness later than to ask for permission, because sometimes you just need to do the thing. Well, when we have people who are locked in a position for a long time, a lot of times they outgrow that initial thought of what they went in for. So I always use this analogy. For me, the 80s was my era. You know, I love 80s music right to this day. You know, I still play Wham and all the things, right? My children, our children, they come in and they were like, Mama, you haven't heard this song? And I'm like, I'm not listening to that rap music. Y'all don't know nothing about no rap. Y'all don't know nothing about good music. And then they introduced me to really good music that is, Spanish music, Indian music, different things that I don't know how to speak, but I know I love it because it makes me move, right? I was locked in my era, and I thought that only thing that worked was my music. Well, that's the same thing that happens in roles. People think that they know better because they're still operating from their time, their cause. They're still trying to fix the issue that they had from yesteryear. That may not be my problem today. My problem today may be, how do I put food on the table? My problem today may be, I can't get a job. My problem today is I'm fearful of that I'm going to lose my home. That's my problem today. But if I'm still focusing on, whatever happened in yesteryear, you're not helping me with my problem because I'm focused on helping you with getting over your yesteryear issue.
Now, well, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be very brutally honest. All right? You know I'm from Liberty County.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody that's in the positions that you speak of, I know of some people that are past their time. I know of some people. And I'm not even going to say no names, but I just got to make this clear. For like 12 years, some people have meetings every Saturday, and they still drive all the way to Atlanta. Like, there are some people that are in position that still have it. They still communicate with the people, and they still know. There are people that you speak of. You understand? There are some people like that. Now, if we're talking about, I'm talking in code, but you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes we got to give people their flowers or their flowers are off. Like, I get it. That might be an issue for someone else, but some people it's just not. But it can be an issue really soon because you never know. God does what he does in his timing. And I feel like there should be a bridge to where that wisdom and knowledge that one person has should be transferred over to other folks also. And I think there needs to be a willing connection, because if your heart's right and their heart's right, there shouldn't be any type of fluff in between that. You get what I'm saying? Because I think a great deal can be learned from both sides. And I think it's just because of politics that it's not. Because I got to speak truth, because sometimes people run circles around me and I don't understand it. I'm like, how are you this old moving like that? You know what I mean? So that's my speak on it, because I know exactly people who you're talking about. I do. But when it comes to like personal experiences, that's where I lead. And I think I'm pretty wise on that. Yes, so, Biddy. What's wrong? I got you. All right. Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
I got a question, and I do want to say this because I usually get text messages as they roll in, because I got the people watching.
And my phone dead. I can't see it, so if you see any questions.
Well, no, I ain't looking at you, so I get the text. Yeah. But I did text you like, hey.
I know it's the time. I'm sorry.
I do want to say this though. There have been quite a few people who text one either to say to thank me for asking you for a breakdown on what certain things mean. And so I got people saying, hey, they're learning a lot as I've asked the questions. There's some people who text for clarity. I'm not going to read all the messages now, but I do agree with you in terms of the roses and you know, and the wisdom.
Yeah.
But I guess I asked the whole table, and this will be the last question that I ask.
You good?
First, before I ask the question, I wanted to say thank you to both of y'all for, the meeting. That was incredible.
Yes, thank you.
It was remarkable to have this opportunity tonight on a Friday on your birthday.
On my birthday.
On your birthday, man. That is remarkable.
So much
and for what coming down and doing that. Thank you also for coming and being here.
Yes.
And thank you too, my brother. You see that? He was ready. He was ready to say I wasn't giving him no shout out. He was ready. But to your question. Is because of somebody's tenure or wisdom in their age, is giving them their roses indicative or complimentary of keeping them in a position?
Neither.
No.
Neither?
Yeah, I think we've forgotten that, and that's where we're at now. The respect came from where respect was earned. Like we spoke about Martin Luther King. Some people have been in the same room with Martin Luther King, learned from Martin Luther King, right? And you got some people that's lost their mind at certain ages. And then some, you give flowers, you receive blessings. You know what I mean? And that's something I think that we've lost as a culture and a people, because other people in other positions, the people that we like to talk about, we say, well, they're just going to get their family in, or they're going to keep it like that, and they're gatekeepers. Are they gatekeepers? Or are they operating the way that we used to? And we just forgot our path on how to operate. Like, are they gatekeepers? Or have we lost our way of structure? We don't have any structure.
Yeah, in some instances, I'm just asking. In some instances, I do think that some people, I'm saying, no one in particular, I do think that it's. So let me just speak from a fraternal standpoint, away from the political side. There's a way, people who know me, they know that I function a certain way, and I do believe that sometimes because of how I function and because of how I move, there's certain opportunities that are just not afforded to me, right? Because they think that me being in a position may bring a bad light to them, right? And so let's go to the roses point. Like if I got a fraternity brother, man. He hangs with us now, and I know he has to be like 85.
Don't be talking about him on live.
I got you. But hey, man, he's at, and this is my guy. He ain't watching. He's in Atlanta, man. He's at the cruises with us. He's at our events, at our parties. He's having a great time. But out of any and everybody else that could feed me wisdom and knowledge as it pertains to my organization, he's the guy that comes there and say, hey, do you want to come to Atlanta and be a part of this president meeting? Or do you want to do this, that, and third? So same thing. Age, wisdom. He's chartered chapters in our organization. He's been our international president. He's been a state director, a regional officer, and all of those things. Said, hey, you're doing this, you might not need to do this, right? If the sign is this, don't do the sign like that, because this is going to come against you. If they say don't wear this type of thing thing, then don't do that. And so, or if you're looking for this, do that, or run for this position instead of this. And look, or if you're gonna do what you want to do that, because every position that I ran for, I lost the first time. But don't stop. But then there's another type of person that can see that same potential and have the same capacity to say, hey, let me teach you, young man. Let me show you, young man. Come and do this.
Yes.
They won't. They just, because of this, they're going to close the door. And so, in our organization wise, with me even giving homage to everybody that's in our organization respect is respect. And if you disrespect me, I may not disrespect you the same way that you disrespect me, because Trey Sarah was raised by some beautiful, strong women that told me you don't kiss nobody behind, and I never have and I never will. Right? And we from down there on Highway 17, Riceboro, Georgia. And Jones Hill, Sandy Run Road. But the point I'm making is that, to your point, I do believe that we should honor those people who have come before us. I 100% believe that we should, in every way that we can, almost every opportunity that we can, while at the same time, I don't believe that if Martin Luther King was still living, even though John Lewis was still doing his thing, I don't believe Martin Luther King Jr. would still be out here trying to do what he's doing. But at some point, Martin Luther King Jr. had to say, there's somebody else. There's another group of people. So I'm looking for that school of leaders, school of people. Right. And even if I'm not included in it, you know what I'm saying? On your way out. That's what I was saying earlier. Because sometimes life just happens. And if, God forbid, anybody at any age were not to be here anymore, does anybody have that knowledge? Does anybody else have that wisdom? Does anybody else have what Martin Luther King said? Those people who were there at the Dorchester Academy when Martin Luther King was down here and he did that stuff, who else has that wisdom and knowledge at 50 and younger? You understand what I'm saying? Who has that? And if those people have that, the only question that I have is, when is their time?
Well, yeah. You know, the Dorchester Center that you went to, that's where I grew up. Like, I had my Boy Scout troop there, and that's why I know so much history about the Dorchester Center, is because my whole life I grew up there, and all I did was talk to older folks in the community. So that's been passed around. I don't think enough of us are stepping up. Like, you're stepping up. You're not even from here. You're a transplant. And you know who that's on? That's on us. That's on the locals. That's on the people that are here, that's been around that history, been around it, and didn't capitalize on it, because all of us are going astray. But I feel like it doesn't matter if you're a transplant or not. There should be an avenue there for y'all to connect on a deeper level so that we can get real things done. And it becomes about the people and not about the freaking politics. I'm so tired of it. For real.
I believe you said, he said it all the time. And
to all the kings and queens, I know we had a long episode. Y'all forgive me, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I have to give shots out to Miss Sabrina Newby. She is here and had a great time. Thank you. Miss Mandisha, thank you for coming all the way to from Atlanta to be on my show. See, I got somebody that traveled 4 hours beside Pastor Troy to come on the show. I'm just playing. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, King Wiggles, the man with the plan. Hey, we appreciate you, King Wiggles.
Hey, man, I appreciate you.
All together. Thank you, sir.
Man, I appreciate you,
and
man.
Dexter, I know you in the background, bro. I ain't forgot about you.
Dexter said he ready to go eat some vittles.
I know that's right. So before we end the episode, we always leave our kings and queens with some motivation for the week or the month. We're going to start with you, Miss Newby, Mrs. Newby. What is something that you would like to tell the kings and queens to keep them pushing through, and just some things, you know, that life lessons that you've learned even through all of these election proceeds and everything. And don't forget, early voting is now. Stop at any precinct and vote. May 15th or 19th is the last day of voting.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. May 15th is the last day of early voting. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my son's birthday.
Yes.
Oh, really?
All right.
Taurus in the building, baby.
Happy birthday. So one of the things I would say to anyone is, if you are a person of faith, do not fear the future, because the fear is not a part of being faithful. You know, you have to step into your purpose, and your purpose is not given to you by man. It's not. Opportunity is, but purpose comes and it is a gift. And we can either ignore it or we can act upon it. I've chosen to act upon mine. And I ask everyone else to listen deeply, deeply to your spirit, because it knows where you need to go.
Amen. We're going to go to Miss Mandisha.
Well, I would normally say something, but hey.
Zorro, get down. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all forgive my puppy. Get down. He just wants love.
But
I'm sorry about that.
No problem. But I think my parting words would be about the candidate.
Okay.
I take politics extremely important. It's in my DNA.
Yes.
It's a science.
Down.
Hence, that's why they have a degree called political science.
Yes.
And so you have to understand the science of what this really is in order to move or get anything done. And my parting words would be to the people to understand the candidate that is on the ballot. This is a strategist, a negotiator, a leader, and then something that she might not even see herself as is an economic guru. So an economist. And so it's different from economic development. A lot of people lump those things together.
Right.
But when you know the two, you move a little bit different, and you'll see your portfolio growing as you come under the Gold Dome, May 19th, 2026.
Thank you, Miss Mandisha. King Wiggle.
All right. So usually I just kind of freestyle. So I got two things. This is just off the top of the dome, which is a verse. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but he's given us power, love, and a sound mind. And then Luke 4:17 says, the book of Isaiah the prophet was given to him. He opened the book and found the place where this is written. The Spirit of the Lord is on me. He has chosen me to tell the good news to the poor. He sent me to tell the prisoners that they are free, and to tell the blind that they can see again. He sent me to free those who have been treated badly, and to announce that the time has come for the Lord to show his kindness.
Oh, wow. That's good. Can I just say this? Because I would be remiss not to talk about the great I am that I am, since we're all talking about scriptures. And so Isaiah 60:22, for at the right time, I, thy Lord, shall make it happen. So we've been talking about time, time, but at the right time, I, thy Lord, will make it happen for Sabrina.
Oh, y'all gonna make me cry.
You're done it with.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
It's kindness is it, man.
Yes.
Yeah, kindness is it. Whatever we do, let's do it with kindness and have compassion one for the other. That's it. When we speak faith and we talk about our faith, we got to remember, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. That's what he says.
So everything matters, y'all. Understand, while we're running these campaigns and we clearly see politics, everybody wants to pick a side and all this other good stuff, right? What really matters is a person's heart. A person's heart matters. And in order to get things done, y'all, we have to move as really one unit. Because if you picture a body, if you want to put everything into that, the heart is the biggest thing. And guess what? In this economy, in this world that we're competing, the heart would be probably money flow, right? The arms and everything, and even the mind, those will be guiding stones. So everybody has to play their position in order for this body to move and to get to where it needs to go. And right now, it's like we got a whole bunch of clogged arteries. You know how many arteries and veins it is in the body? And if one of them messes up, it throws the whole thing off track. Y'all, we need to get back on track. We need to unite. We need to love one another. So, kings and queens, I leave you with this. Follow your guided heart. Don't forget to pray. Also, move with intent. Move with purpose. And decide on what's right. To all my kings and queens, I love you guys. It's your boy King Conda, the People's Champ, with Mrs. Sabrina Newby, Miss Mandisha, and King Wiggle. And we're out!
You dig?